How's everybody doing? I'm going to rig my phone up because I can't get into my bedroom to get my nifty little phone stand that I spent a lot of money on because my child is in there. Go figure, he's sleeping in my room again. Alright. Got everything set up. Oh, alright, there's Jen. And there we go.
Hi! I did it! Yay! You learn something new every day.
I know, right? If you do it, oh, you little jackwagon. You know what? I just
You what?
my dog. I'm just trying to train him, and he's just not listening. So we grabbed
Like all mammals, right?
all men.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Karen.
Yay!
Thank you guys for having me. This is my first time ever doing this, which is absolutely ridiculous as an ambassador in the company, but it just shows that you learn something new every single day and people push you out of your comfort zone like Erin did for me.
Well, and
what people don't know is I'm a big wuss, aren't I, Erin?
She's very good to learn from, but yes, just big softy. Just a big softy.
I know.
If you put your phone like the vertically or whatever, it'll make it so there's like a tiny little window. So this way you can have split screen. And there's
an angle's a little off, but I like the split screen. This is sweet.
I know, I do too. And there's a way you can incorporate Zoom with the split screens too. So we're figuring that out. We're just
that's nice. I know, because I don't like that they see everyone's pictures. Like I feel bad because I'm sure it's very distracting.
I know.
Like when you're rewatching it.
You get to see everybody yelling at the kids or
right. Seriously.
So thank you for doing this. And we jumped on a little earlier, you guys, because Jen's daughter is got spacers put in today and she's just not in a great mood. So
yeah, I just lavender her down. I think she'll fall asleep. I gave her ice cream, but she was like perfectly fine. She went live today. She was all pumped up, excited, and then it was like boom, headache, teeth ache. So
I know
she'll get through it. Thankfully, Andy got home from football practice, so he took over for me because I was freaking out.
Good.
But I'm really excited to be on with you guys. Last week, I actually was supposed to get on, and I ended up having a party. So that was awesome, and I was worried about getting home in time. So I'm pumped to be on with you guys now. So I've looked at some of the questions you have for me.
Yep.
But not all, because sometimes I like to honestly answer it so that people can see that I'm human too. So if I pre-prep too much, it's like, oh, I don't want people to think that I make up my answers. I like to be really raw and real with my own team. So I'm excited to hear. And you guys can add questions in too.
Yes, totally add questions. Can you see when they're commenting, Jen, or just?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Dee.
Sometimes it's like weird on lives. It won't show the comments or something. It's very strange. So I just want to make sure you can see them too. Yep. So for those of you who don't know who Gennesis is, it was really important to me. She has been a huge part of my business in growing, and I'm not one to be very vocal on who I learn from, but you guys will hear, when you hear Jen talk, I'm like, I just get, I get goosebumps now. Like I learn a lot from her. And I have picked up everything that she has done because her journey is amazing. So I really wanted you guys to meet her when you were ready to, because I know coming into the business, for me 3.5 years ago, I had no idea who anybody was. And it was just not intimidating. I was just like, it didn't really make an impact for me. So when I really started to get into it, and then I was introduced to Jen and Andy and everybody else, I was like, okay, like this is the real deal. Like this is cool. Like these are real people. So it was really important for me, for you guys to meet her, especially if you're out of state. You just tell your story. I mean, and then I'll ask you the questions, and there was a few more added on. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, it's nice to meet all of you that I haven't met yet. And I know Erin's a stickler with her team, so I hope that you graduate and are eventually in the bigger groups and then ultimately in VIP, just like Erin. You know, she's exactly right. All of us are just humans that had an opportunity thrown at us. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We signed the dotted line and we just got to work. And those of us that are in leadership positions, it's not that we do anything different. It's straight up that we just worked this like a career versus just getting free product or a little side cash. And so we are no different. And so I'll share a little bit about how I got started, very short and sweet, so you guys can ask more questions. I went to a wrap party. I actually got bugged to go to a wrap party. I was a huge skeptic. I have a teaching background. I owned a preschool. I had 2 kids under 2, and I was watching 14 kids a day in my home. And I just like everyone else, I didn't have time. And honestly, guys, I didn't have the money at all to be spending on myself. And it wasn't that I didn't want to use the wraps or try the products. Yes, I was a skeptic. I honestly felt selfish doing it. So anyway, I went to the party just because she kept on bugging me. So don't ever stop bugging people because they're still intrigued. It's probably just a straight up money issue or their husband's a jerk or something. You know, you just got to keep on asking and the time will come around. I had a girlfriend that sold these products 2 years before I finally went to a wrap party. And that's Andrea Dunning. She's a diamond in the company. And she was a distributor before even me. So you just never know. I went to the party. I refused a picture. I seen results in 45 minutes. I had gained 82 pounds with pregnancy. So I was losing weight. I had already lost some weight, but I still had that skin and I just wasn't comfortable. Taylor was only 9 months old. So I was just that postpartum, depressed mom stuck at home eating chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese all the time. And I tried the wrap, seen results. And you guys, I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning to start my business. I could not fall asleep till almost 3:30 in the morning after trying that wrap. At that wrap party, I didn't sign up to be a distributor because I did not have the money. I didn't bring the credit card that I had been hiding from Andy for like issues that we had with the business. So the next morning I signed up to be a distributor, didn't tell Andy about it, didn't ask Andy about it, just signed up because I just knew having that business degree and running a business, I just knew that there was something about these products. I knew that I was like, there's no one in the world that has this. Did this in 45 minutes. I woke up and it was still like tightened skin. All of you guys are distributors for the same reason. And so I signed up and I honestly was like in love with the idea of wrap rewards. Like I had no intention. I didn't, you don't get it yet. Those of you that are new on here, you don't understand. You don't know that we're paid 5 ways plus bonuses. You don't know that there is an extremely crazy compensation plan that evolves as you become a leader. You don't know all those things. So I straight up just got in. We didn't even have a training academy. We didn't have documents. I started making all my own crap and I just got into people's houses. Like I loved getting out of my house. Like I said, I had 2 kids in diapers. So I was all about the parties and going and wrapping people. I could make in 2 hours at a wrap party what I would all day long watching 14 kids by going and selling wraps. So I was all about wrap rewards for myself, being a little selfish. And I was all about that wrap cash. And then slowly I realized other people had that same mindset and they were into being distributors. So once I figured out we got $100 bonuses every time we signed a distributor, then it was game on. And that's where my red took over. And, it's insane how this business works because you really start off and I can't say it enough. Every single person does not know what they're doing. No one knows what they're doing. Not one. Maybe if you've been in network marketing before, you have a little bit of a clue, but it's completely different because we don't have all the inventory and there's so many things that I could go on and on about with this. And so it's one step at a time. And I just straight up learned as I went. I made a lot of mistakes and it took me 8 months to go diamond. I didn't even know how to chart for like the first 6 months. I signed 38 people on my front line. And so I'm straight up proof that you don't have to know what you're doing in order to make it to ambassador. It took me 3.5 years to go ambassador.
I went executive and I had no idea what that meant. I don't have even my executive like certificate, that we get, because I was like, oh, okay, sweet, whatever. Like everybody's like, executive, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I got a sweet paycheck, but I'm like, okay, cool. And like, so yeah, in the beginning, you have no idea what you're doing. Like it's that
we don't.
Ignorance on fire or whatever. Is that everybody like that? So. So
yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. And there's obviously tons more to the story and the hustle. And I got out there and did anything I could because I had to. It wasn't like there was no other choice for me. One, I wanted to use the products. You guys, my first dream board, I was in a room with Sarah Reed and we laughed. We made fun of dream boards. We were like, cool, awesome. Yeah, that's, and I wrote down thermal fit, and and I wish I would have kept that paper, because that's the only thing I had on my dream board was thermal fit. And I look back to that, it's just wild. And that's okay. It's so okay to have those like small achievable goals. I'm all about achievable goals, because then you get to them and then you can grow. And so for those of you, if you're on this right now and you're not even like, oh, I don't even care to be Ruby, I don't even know what Ruby is, that's okay. Then just get your free products and then move towards the next goal. So that's how I did it. All right, you got some questions for me?
I had a towel warmer on my first dream board.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Okay, so Virginia, she asked, and she said I could probably answer it, and I did, but I really wanted everybody to hear this from you. But her question was, how does someone who stepped back from the business because life happened, but is now wanting to step back in and take the bull by the horns, what steps would you suggest to get back in the swing and be successful?
Honestly, you just start. There's really nothing special. That's the beauty of this type of business, is that you can take breaks. You can have moments that, you are going to second guess yourself. It's going to happen to you regardless of where you're at, even if you're a black diamond. Every single day you start over, as if you had a boss over your shoulder telling you to get to work. You just start. So for me, I would relaunch. I would have another party. I'm huge on that. When I'm feeling down, I have a party. If I'm feeling down, I go to a one team and get guests there. No one knows you quit besides you. No one knows that you gave up besides you. So you just start off and you just learn from that and move on, and you go to the next. You think that I never quit? I quit for like 3 hours once. I quit another time for maybe a day. That happens, and you just go back in. The biggest thing is not like, making a big deal of it and just knowing that it doesn't matter. You just get going again. Whatever way you love to do this business, you just do it. You have way more regret if you don't. But to be completely vulnerable with you guys, it happens to everyone. It's just whether or not we've told someone, that we've had those thoughts. And that's like the most and hardest part of this business, is it's all here. Like every single one of us has self-chatter going on, and it's what we decide to like really run with. Are we going to run with, oh my gosh, I'm scared and I'm not, like, I failed today and everyone told me no. I followed up with leads all day today, like all day long, between just talking to my team and doing things, Taylor at the dentist, and I had one person respond to me. I'm not quitting because only one probably out of 70 said anything back. I'm waiting for that next. So I think it's just all in the mind, and just knowing that it's okay to take a break, and it's okay to say, okay, tonight I'm done, but tomorrow I'm going to get going again. So I highly, highly suggest relaunching and, continuing that. I even relaunch and I'm ambassador. So it's better that you don't quit.
I think when Shelly Hyde too was so real last week on that Zoom and at mini boot camp, like that was huge, people. And you guys, myself, I think, last month I signed 2 loyal customers. I mean, like, or whatever, it happens. It's just like, but I didn't quit because I know that I'm good at this. And I mean, I actually found out I was a red from Jen, like from listening and watching. And I'm like, I don't think I'm a blue. I think I can kick ass at this. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so Wendy's question for you is how she works in Expo and how she does her follow-up.
Ooh, okay. So not one expo that I've ever done has it been exactly the same as another expo. So like, I think sometimes we overcomplicate the expo, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was scared, shaken the first time I did it, because I mean, I had like before and afters duct tape to the wall. I had, you know, like I had my table so overwhelming. Honestly, you don't need anything for an expo. All you need is your mouth, in all reality. Is that the perfect way to go about an expo? Absolutely not. You want marketing materials, but I'm all about crisp, clean, and what I want people to say, I could do that too. That is my number one goal. My second is I want it to be where I'm booking parties. I used to be all about Rap Cash and being crazy about getting people to sign right on the dotted line. Now I'm more about booking parties, making real, genuine connections, offering the business opportunity. So when people come to my table, and I'm not like everyone, but this is just my style because I want it to be worth my time and my dollar, I lead with the business opportunity. So instead of saying, well, you could be a retail customer, or I can hook you up as a loyal customer at our cost, 40% off, and go into all that, I say, well, you could join my team. It's only $99. You're going to get a 4-pack of wraps. Or you can be a retail customer, which is the same exact cost. Because right then and there, they're like, oh, why wouldn't I be a distributor? Even if they just want free products. And then and I just wait for them to talk. And then I go into the loyal customer. I have a sign-up sheet for parties, because I will say to every single, especially cool girls, like if someone like Erin or anyone was to come up to the table, I would say, you know, I would love for you to join my team, but if not, I'd love to wrap you for free. And that's my way to get in, to have that one-on-one or have that party with them, and then getting the leads. So I'm still following up with leads from 7 years ago. I would rather spend my time on having people on a list that want to have a wrap party. And then if I'm out of state, I just automatically say, well, I'm having a party. Like I did it yesterday, I had a show. And so today, all day long, while I'm following up, I'm saying, well, I'm having a party up at the coffee shop right across the street from the hotel you guys are all staying at, if you'd like to meet me there for an open wrap party. And so like, I'm always trying to just put those things in their head. It's all about that relationship too. So I'm not like a mass quantity. I've learned this. Like I used to be like, oh my God, they're walking by, I don't want to lose them. I'm like crazy space cadet. That was not relatable. That was probably annoying. I wouldn't even take lunch breaks. Now I'm so much more like, I want that relationship with this person. I'm going to pick someone that looks driven and has it together a little bit more, maybe has blingy sandals, and let 10 people walk by that could care less about health. And that's not me being, you know, judgy in a way, I guess it is, but it's at the same time, my time's valuable too. And so I like to have like a really good conversation with someone and it be real and not just like salesy. Because I don't like salesy. When I see those people at the mall that are trying to track me down, I'm like this, you know, and I do that for a living. So everything I do, I want to put myself in other people's shoes. And then I also am big on writing little notes on the back of their sheets to remember them, you know, like, oh, your daughter was so cute. I loved meeting you. Thank you for stopping at my booth. Would you be interested in trying the wrap? Or would you be interested in a sample session, or whatever it is that I talk to them. So I'm big on writing notes on the back of them. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But again, guys, like I genuinely go in and I change it up. If my table, and I do a lot of expos, if my table is not doing it and I'm not feeling it, it's all about the energy, right? So I'll switch my table around in the middle of a show. I'll move it out. If I'm at a bridal show, you know, I'll only focus on like the hair, skin, and nails, the facial line, and the wraps. And maybe the green, always the greens, you know, like I'm really simple. I don't put out all of the products. It's overwhelming. I love to give out product sheets. So now the party pads, whatever they are, I know they're going to be coming out with something else new, just so we all know. But right, I always am big on party product sheets versus blitz cards if there's someone that I had a connection with. So don't overcomplicate it. I know that it can be intimidating if you've never done it. You guys can find shows by Googling. Especially now, we've had a ton of people leave. There's going to be so many shows to scoop up. It would be calling like crazy. I'm talking, I've done mom-to-mom sales. I've done shows at schools. I've done bridal shows. I've gone all the way to Vegas for spa expos. I've done health and wellness. I've done track expos. You name it, I've tried it. It's all it is getting in front of people. And think about this. Quantity, yes, we want quantity, but if you got 10 people to sign, 10 people seriously interested in being a distributor, that's $1,000 in fast start bonuses right there, on top of 10 parties with 10 parties where you can get volume. So in the beginning, I was all about, oh my gosh, I want 300 leads. That's really hard to follow up with. I'd rather have 10 solid leads than 100 not solid. I could go on and on about shows. I should do a big time Zoom on shows because I've been doing them so long. But we overthink the crap out of shows, and I love doing them with my people. I love working with others because you just can vibe off each other. If somebody's kind of being a jerk, because you're going to get those two, you can throw them to the other person and they've got your back, and it's fun, and you can split costs. So
I know I love doing shows too, because again, I saw you doing them, and I saw when you and Sarah went to Vegas and road trip down to Georgia and like stuff. And then I remember one thing that Sarah even told me. She was like, you know, going out to Vegas, that wasn't, you know, I've had more luck at a mom to mom local than going and doing that. So don't ever think that you have to like, you know, do all those things. And she was right. I mean, so that was something that I picked up on quickly, because I do like to get in front of people and have that, you know, the fun. And you do have the leads coming to you. So like you have them forever. And that's, you guys, they really want you to learn from Jen, because again, if you guys see how I do the parties, do the online parties, and do the shows, I mean, like I learned from her, and you just get good, whether you have strengths and weaknesses in, you know, whatever area. If you know how to do it, you can train your team. Like you can show them the way, at least, you know. Just being open.
And no one knows you're messing up and fumbling over your words. No one knows. I mean, I still mess up now. You know, I think yesterday I said we had over 50 products. I think it's like we have over 40. And I don't know why I said 50, but she didn't know. She didn't care. Afterwards, I was like, oh my gosh.
Somebody asked me, I think it was yesterday, when I said something about, you know, my 32 fruits and vegetables and 54 superfoods. And she was like, can you name them all? I said, yeah, when I read the ingredients on the back of the label. Like,
yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, Melody, I seen that you had done a show. That's so awesome. I love it. And once you get in with a show, you are the main person they call forever. And like, you know, so it's just all about, and people post these in the groups too. So when you see an opportunity, jump in. If you're scared or you have a little fear, ask your upline, ask a sideline, because that's the best way you're going to learn. That's what we did. And when we couldn't afford them, we would split them up. You know, there'd be 4 of us. We still do that. So
heck yeah.
I love it. Good question.
Good question. So as far as your follow-up, you do just follow up and say, you know, and book the parties, right?
So I will write on the back of my slip. So let's see if I've got some of what I did today. So like on the back of my slip, this one's like I put older woman, wowed her, get a party with her for sure. She'll love it. Okay. So then I wrote on the back, I write Facebook, text, call, email. So I go through and I will check. So my first thing that I do is text, if they can text. I find them on Facebook by searching their phone number. So I'll do that. And then as I'm depending, hopefully I get them then, but then I go on to the next. I used to use MailChimp a lot. Now I'm not doing it as much just because I have so many leads that I just kind of fallen out of that. But that's a simple resource that you could do emails. However, I do feel like corporate's going to be starting to do that for us soon. I don't know when, but I'm all about, I know a lot of people are scripters. We have tons of scripts in the groups. However, I'm really I probably use a lot of extra time doing it, but I'm very, very like, just whatever came to mind from whatever I wrote with that person. I kind of just go with the flow. I'm not like scripted. I want them to know that I'm a real person. So I can't get on my phone, but it's very like, hey girl, we met at the show and I'm so grateful you stopped by. I can't even believe your wow pictures still. What do you think about getting a few friends over for some free samples? That's just an example. I'm telling you guys, I'm probably doing myself, a lack of service by doing it that way, but I'm just not a huge script girl. Other people are, but that's what works for me and I'm more organized than in the big group text app that I have used before too. So that's pretty much how I roll with it. If I'm at the show, I try to get them on Facebook right in front of me. I'll be like, are you on Facebook? I'd love to connect. It's really easy that way. But if it's too busy, then I go this route. So
how do you deal with rejection?
Who deals with rejection well, right? At first I've cried, I've been upset, I've been hurt, I've been offended. It was usually my friends and family that I thought would be all about it the most. But now I'm just like, next. like there's so many people in the world. It's hard, you know, like today I was like, seriously, we met yesterday at this expo and you're not responding to me. But you have to remember, you never know the battle that people are going through. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if they're fighting with their spouse right then. You don't know if their kid's freaking screaming, puking, having their teeth hurt. You don't know what's going on in their life. And so when you put yourself in that perspective, it's a lot easier to say, okay, well, you know, it's not right now. It's not never. It's just not right now. And so it's easier said than done. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's so awesome. I get hurt just like anyone else when people delete me. I've been at 5,000 friends for over a year, and every single day I get deleted by someone. And you can see when you get to 5,000 friends. But I've learned that if you aren't hated, you're not doing something right, you know? So I know it's easy. I know it's hard for people. But just say next, because there's somebody else out there that you will meet when you get rid of them that will change your whole world.
All right.
Was that hardcore enough for you, Erin?
Oh, dude, like,
I'm so soft.
I'm so much. I'm like, yeah, all right, deuces.
You're so good with that.
It sucks. I mean, people, yeah, I mean, for me, it's always consider the source. Did they affect my decision making prior to this? No. Yep. So they shouldn't affect it after. You know, even when my family was hating on this, you know, the thing is my family never helped me. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like they didn't pay my bills. They didn't. I mean, yep. If I cut my finger off, I'd still have to figure it out all on my own. I'm sure they would drive me to the hospital or something, but you know. So it's just kind of like, if they didn't really affect my life before, you know, yes, it's just
prove them wrong. Success is the greatest revenge.
Amen.
And they just don't know any better. And you know, it's at shows or something, when I want to like get it in my head, all I say is, I'll see you in 80 years, or I'll see you when we're 80, because I know you're going to want our products then.
Right.
You know? So it's just mind over matter.
Something,
or I'll write it on my hand.
I just thought that they didn't deserve the greens.
Right. I've said that too. In my own head.
In my head. Right.
Get around people that believe in it.
And that's it. And they're out there. They really are. Okay, we heard at mini boot camp that when you first begin the business is in your head, but at a certain point it moves to your heart. When did this happen for you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I seen the vision on a larger scale at my first boot camp, and it was in Grand Rapids. Mark was there. It was before they moved down to Palmetto. And I just seen that this was more. It was Dr. Don had talked. Pam was there. Denise was pregnant with her first child. I don't even know. I think she might have just gone ambassador, maybe. And I just realized that this was so much bigger than, you know, being a Ruby. I think I was Ruby. And I was like, okay, so this is this small. We have products that genuinely are needed. This is consumable, which is so key in anything you do. If you have something that people have to reorder, that's where it's at. I will never agree with anyone that tells me otherwise. So I figured, I was sitting there, I was writing notes, and Andy came with me. It was the first event that Andy came with me. I remember him and his buddy that was in the business at the time, like this in the background. And it was Ryan that was there, but Andy was in the back, and Mark was getting ready to speak, and Andy had no clue who Mark was. And Mark was like, well, what are you doing here? Because Andy was like this, mind you, in that body language, you're obviously on edge or like not into it. And Andy told him that he changed oil, and Mark got in the front and he told everybody he had met. He referred to Andy changing oil for a living full time. There's people in this room doing that, working towards their dreams. And I just realized, I was like, this is like, they care about their people, regardless if you're Ruby, Diamond, whatever. And talking about opening countries, like we weren't even in half the countries we are now. And I was just like, holy shit, like this is insane, gonna be huge, and I'm going to be a part of it. And my whole mental shift, because I was scared still, guys. Like I was still like having issues with friends and family. I just was like at that point, like, I don't care what anyone says, I will never quit. And I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I had a love note in my room when I'd wake up at 5:30 in the morning with 14 kids screaming and pooping their pants. And I would read that note every single day and tell myself, I'm gonna do this. And the rest was history. Like, I mean, like I said to you guys earlier, like there was times where like, I can't do this. I'm exhausted. I'm getting eaten alive. But it was never like I would ever say the word ultimately out loud to anyone else that I was going to quit. So I think it's events. I feel in being surrounded by the right people. If you're having a shitty day or you're having people beating you down left and right, you have to get around people that see the vision. I actually made a post about this today. Like, where there is no vision, the people perish. It's like, in the beginning of this, I thought that stuff was more cliche, but now I'm like, it is all about what you are saying inside of your brain space. It is all about whether or not, are you going to do it or are you not going to do it? I'm not saying it for those of you that are newer distributors, but it's a choice. It's a simple choice. Just like my business with the daycare. I wasn't always, obviously I was broke. I was making less than 30 grand a year running that business. And I was working 70 hours a week, stuck at home, unhappy, not healthy, like miserable, had no friends, talked to kids, talked in like shapes and colors for a life, so it's 100% a choice. You just are going to do it or you're not going to do it.
Word up. Okay, Alyssa said, how do you answer people who are skeptical about the business? They want to make extra money, but not sure if it's really going to give them that.
Okay. Well, first of all, they're already projecting and setting the tone that they're not going to make it, but they got to set goals. So like I said in the beginning, I would say, well, I've got to one of my big goals was buying sensitive pamper diapers. As lame as that is, I bought like the non-brand, and Taylor was very sensitive. She's got like blonde, that reddish blonde hair, and she would get rashes, and that was a goal of mine. So every week I was like, I'm going to sell 2 wraps. I'm going to, and I didn't even understand the I am part of it. I had done like no personal development in my life at this moment besides what I was made to read, like Tuesdays or whatever, breakfast with, Tuesdays with Maury and stuff like that in school. But I would set goals. Like I have to sign, like Step to Success. We didn't have it back then, but I would say, well, I have to sign 3 distributors in order to make $300 in fast start bonuses. And then I'm going to make commissions on those little customers, and I'm going to sell 2 wraps a week. So that's going to be $200 extra. So I had already said it in my mind so I could also prove Andy wrong, because mind you, just like many of your husbands, mine wasn't all in the beginning. I was going to make $500 a month just by 3 distributors. So that's $300 in fast start bonuses plus $50 a week in wrap cash. So I'd already set myself up. So I just made very achievable goals. Like it's hard for me when my newbies are like, I'm going to make 30 grand a month. Like that's not achievable yet. You need to make start bonuses before you're able to say that. That's a long-term goal. So it's just setting yourself up with our pay scale to make that amount of money and what you need to do. And you can't just say it and write it down and put little hearts around it. You need to actually get out there and make action steps in order to make that happen. Am I answering that question right? Because maybe I didn't hear it all the way. Yeah. Read it to me again. I feel like I'm off a little.
How do you answer people who are skeptical about the business? They want to make extra money, but not sure if it's really going to give them that.
Okay, so it was a little off. So that's how, if you're a distributor, if they're skeptical, we all had people that are skeptical. A lot of my people didn't even sign with me until I was a leader in the company that were super skeptical. So let them watch. Let them watch you post about, I just paid for my nails, or I paid for my Big B in wrap cash holding $25. You have to really show them and be very consistent so they see that you're making that income. It's kind of like that faith it till you make it. I'm not, I have girls that I've told, maybe you didn't make the wrap cash, but you can still post about it. It's like a white lie. But, you put that goal out there and the energy out there, and it will happen eventually. So it's really showing others that it is possible by you doing that. And they'll come around. I mean, I have people now that have been on my hundreds list since the beginning that are just now still super green and asking questions, but they're coming around. So I knew I answered that wrong. No, but just know it happens to all of us.
Yes. Yeah, I only had one.
Yes, Wendy. It's so important to do it that way. And then, like Wendy said, your $500 isn't based on your commissions. No, and that was huge. That's huge for me even now today when I'm signing new distributors, because I don't want them to feel defeated by the numbers that are on the chart. So I'm really good at, I really try to let them know, because none of us make a ton in the beginning. You're putting in more into your business than what you're hoping for in time. And now I put in a lot less time for what I'm paid.
I literally think I'm the only person, but still in the beginning, my first paycheck was $350.
That's crazy. I think mine was like 23. That's awesome.
And for me, because I had 4 jobs or whatever, I was like, well, sweet, I can go make $350 at the bar in a weekend. You know, I was like, oh, all right, whatever. But yeah, so I think I'm the only one. But yeah, I made $1,000 in my first month between Rap Cash and everything, and I was just amazing. Like, okay, sweet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay,
it's the beauty of this. Every single one of our stories is different.
I know. I like this question. Knowing this business now, is there anything that you would do differently starting out?
Oh man. Oh yeah. I would have taken training if we had one, because that's a big thing. Like even when we got the training, I didn't take it because it's like all there. I would have printed charts. So I didn't know how to chart and I didn't understand it. And I was I obviously was intimidated to, you know, you just don't know what you don't know. So being in the position you guys are in, I would go through the back office and play, because you're always going to, I mean, there's so much amazing stuff. There's still things I'm finding back there. So just play around, follow leaders that you enjoy watching and can learn from. Know it's okay to steal posts. For a long time, I was scared to do anything. You know, what else would I have done? I would have offered the business to people sooner. I would have helped create teams like that I do now. So in the beginning, I just was like, I gotta get distributors. I gotta do this. Once I figured it all out, I need to go diamond. I want this. I would have I signed an awesome new rock star and done launch parties with those people. I do that now, but I would have done that so it could have helped them grow faster, because the best way to grow this is building teams, you know, by helping them, and then they're successful and they don't quit on you. And so I figured out that probably like 2 months before I went diamond. And then I just never stopped doing that. I always, like, when I have a new distributor, if they're ready to rock and roll, I'll do parties with them until they kick me off of them, if I can. So, and then personal development. They keep your mind right. I've lost so many days, you guys, overthinking shit and just like worried about what other people thought and worried that I wasn't doing something right and being afraid to do a live, and just, we're all human. No one cares. No one cares. So personal development, watch videos on YouTube, set it outside of your shower and listen.
Hell yeah.
Dee says she's super intimidated with figuring her chart. You know, it is intimidating, but it's just, you know, plugging them in, setting up, if people know each other, creating teams, and just doing it, because then you can erase.
Yes, you can. Let's see. All right, Tavana, how to find balance, consistency with your time between work, home, etc. Time management is her weakness lately. So how to find,
yeah, isn't it all of us?
Yeah, right.
You know, you got to be very careful about this, because we can get stuck on Facebook and scrolling, or, you know, I had to turn off Voxer for a while because I'd be talking to people for hours and I wasn't doing anything to build. And you're only getting paid to sign loyal customers and distributors in this business. You are not getting paid for anything else. So when it's my time for power hours, you could ask Erin. There's times that she's probably like, what the heck, Jen? I go MIA for like a whole hour and then I respond to a text. It's because I have set times. I have alarms that go off on my phone. They're like, get your butt to work. It's time. So I will stop scrolling Facebook. I won't be just playing, and I will do my following up. I will follow up with my new distributors. I will post things that need to be shared in my group. But it's all about setting time, just like you had your boss hounding over you at work in your normal day job, and you have to only do things that you are supposed to be doing at work. And it's the same thing in this business. And for me, it was after the kids went to bed when I was still working. I would do it during nap time in my job. I would do it on my lunch break. I would take my phone to the bathroom with me, as disgusting as that is, to get my posts in and act like I was going to poop to my kids. Like, I'm serious, you guys. I had the craziest ritual, but that's how I did it. In the car, I'd force Andy to drive. I never was driving because I was, you know, getting ready. I was gonna be making us meals, is what I'd tell him. I was like a Ruby saying that, you know. And you just got to set up rules. And that's what I did. I missed a lot, you guys. I missed parties. I didn't watch movies I don't even like to share how long I didn't watch TV. It was not a choice for me. And it's pretty hardcore. But that's just my personality. Like when I made them, and it was because of the haters and the people that were skeptical. Like the people that told me I couldn't do it were the people that actually helped me get to this place, if they only knew, right? And I just said I'm going to do this, even if I have to give up 10 years of my life to get to this place. And I did it in 3.5. And so I literally took out all TV, because I used to watch a ton of stupid stuff. Why make them rich when I can make myself rich? So, I mean, if you're somebody that can work and have the TV on the background, cool, but I can't. So, you know, if I have to be in my bedroom to be away from the TV or whatever, that was one. But set yourself your goals, how many hours you want to work, and then figure out when the timing is. Turn off the TV for that hour, or whatever it is that you are going to do for your business, and just know that it's 100% time of loyal customers and distributors only. It's only 2 things that you're wanting to do in that time period. We can watch videos all day long, but it's not going to make us money.
Right. Word up. Rosita, she says, I guess mine would be the same as a single parent. How do you make time grow your business when you are the sole provider for the family? Full-time job, health insurance, all of that. Spouse's financial input is marginal at best. Our roles are flipped in the traditional sense. He's not the outgoing type yet, so he's not going to be the one to go and step out and grow a networking business.
So she works full-time? Okay. It's just going to be the same kind of as the last answer. And I mean, Erin's probably a better person to answer this, because I am not single parent, but Andy did work, you know, until 6, 7 o'clock at night. And you guys have probably heard at one teams, I'd walk out the door to wrap parties and I'd hand him the kids, and he had no choice, but you don't have that. So you're going to be looking to do one-on-one appointments at your house when you can, having people over for parties, having online wrap parties, doing a lot more via social. It's going to be after the kids go to bed. It's going to be during nap time if they're at that age. It's going to be when they're at school. You know, I know it's definitely figuring out like power hours essentially throughout your whole day. I mean, Erin, I'm sure you have stuff you can add to that. But
yeah, I mean, and the thing is, as far as, you know, health insurance and whatnot, like if you get to the point where you are doing this full time, you guys, if you're making 80 grand a month, and, you know, I mean, like what, if you're making 40 grand a month, like trust me, be able to afford health insurance.
And I didn't have health insurance when I first started this. I had Medicaid because we just didn't make any money. And so when I started to, it did scare me too, but we pay now like I think it's like $434 for our entire family a month, which seems like a lot, but when you are making so much more, and that's a write-off, like I understand it's like we're so programmed to get it from our work, but you're paying for it from your work too. And I don't think people realize that it's coming out of your paycheck. So we just pay out of pocket now. I pay a $30 deductible. And honestly, guys, I go to the doctor so much less, and so do my children, because of the products. So just know it will come around. Don't let that scare you at all. I have people even on disability that they've been afraid, and it's like, why are you afraid? You're going to make more money than that. Do you want to make $600 a month, or do you want to make $6,000 a month? But I understand the fear factor, because I was too. It intimidated the crap out of me, but it will work out.
Yep. Michelle wants to know, how do you approach someone who is a supplement guru?
A supplement guru?
Yeah.
You just tell them we have incredible bioavailable supplements. I value what you know about them. Would you be willing to check them out? I would lead with the greens, the shake, because they, you know, especially that we have the organic words in the shake. Probably the keto coffee, maybe like the Confianza. I mean, don't give them the facial line or the botanic, you know, it's botanically based, but it's not perfect. But it's just, you know, they are a little tougher breed because they're typically greens. But just always lead with, you know, they'd appreciate it, and keep it at that. And then they can look at the ingredients themselves or print off. You guys know that you can go in the documents under your eSuite and you can print off like 4 pages on every single product. It's not just what, so you can go that route. Let's see. you frozen, Erin?
Am I?
No.
Can you?
Okay.
We're good. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I did yesterday. I had people, all the gym people that I knew. I was like, dude, check this out. And everybody's like, well, do you have the ingredients on this? And I'm like, I sure do. And I went right in my back office and I just hit email, and I emailed everybody the keto sheet. It's right there. It's, I went on Facebook Live,
Yep.
read it directly from my phone, exactly what it said. So everybody knew that I was just reading the things that were provided to us from corporate because they hook us up. So that's like for sure.
And there's like stuff from Dr. Don. I know for me, there's like, in the relief, for instance, it's not, everybody knows glucosamine and chondroitins in products that are for that. Not everybody, but you do once you're involved in this in a while. And then I realized, well, there's rosemary too. I'm not a crazy green. I have every color in me, but I know that that's going to stand out to somebody that is into that. Or if I notice somebody's like into the wraps extra and they aren't feeling the whole tight and tone and firm, helps with all this, that I will say, well, it's made up of essential oils. I'm assuming you're familiar with that. And so there's so much like verbiage that you can use that will help, but don't beat yourself up over it because they are a little harder. And they'll come around if it's meant to be. And if not, there's somebody else out there that will totally appreciate it. But
Melody, you don't even have to screenshot those things. You can email them right from the back office. So you can either email or you can text them. I have iPhone. You have the ability to text it.
I didn't know that.
And send it in Messenger. So you don't have to screenshot anything. So yeah, you can email it.
I didn't realize we could do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it goes right into like you can upload it into your iBooks. So I have a full product catalog in my iBooks, and then I just email it or text it to people, and so you save the screenshots.
Yeah, for like my doctor, I was like, I'm gonna take these supplements. Are you willing to check them out? Like I totally play this stupid like deer in headlights thing, and then they're like, oh, these are awesome. Oh yeah, I sell them.
Isn't that weird? All right, one last question. I think I got everybody. How do you respond to comments from friends on business posts that say they care and support you, but are condescending towards the post? How do you respond to comments from friends on business?
So they're probably responding like on their posts.
Yeah.
Or okay. Well, one, if it pisses you off, delete it because you don't want other people to see it, as much as that stinks. And guys, this is never going to go away. Like I still have like family that will like say things, but you just kill them with kindness. Like, I don't know. There's no other way than just my biggest goal in everything. We've been through a lot, in the past few months, even in our business. And it's like, I just want to be the classier of the classy. Like, I just want to be, if we were all die tomorrow, I want to be the one that was the better one that went out, that's really deep. But like, even with that, it's like, you're being a troll. Like, why are you even saying it? Why are you even going there? Like, there's no need for it. You're supposed to be my friend. And the hard part about life is that as much as people love us, unless they're like really close to you or they're part of your circle or they're part of your top 5, they 100% like secretly have like, we're all competing in a way, as sick as it is. I hate competition. I've never been a very competitive person. But when it comes to like life in general, like people enjoy making someone else hurt to feel better about their own misery. I guess that's the best way to say it, as really stinky as it is. So condescending is usually jealousy, in my opinion, or they're waiting for you to fail. And that's the motivation that you have to use to push through when you do want to quit and you do feel like giving up, is showing those people that this can be done. You're uneducated and move on. I'll be honest, you guys will find like there's blogs of people that have posted stuff that I've gone off on rants, like randoms. I have no idea who they are, and I'm sticking up for it works, and I'm spending time that I don't need to spend. But straight up, and Michelle's saying when they go low, we go high. And that's exactly it. Delete it if it's going to bother you, if it's going to make you look bad to your team, because that's your page, that's your wall, that's your store. If you own a storefront, that's like somebody putting graffiti, when you have sale, they put not on sale underneath it, essentially. Take care of it. You're a business owner, and just let it give you motivation to prove them wrong. And it's so much easier said than done. So I'm not going to sit here and act like it's easy to do, because it's not. It sucks. And you just want to throat punch them, but you can't, because they're your friend, and just success is the greatest revenge.
You know, and I would say to people, you know what? Thank you so much for caring as much as you do about me. That really means a lot. So, but you know, I got, and that's it. Everybody, thank you so much for thank you. I appreciate that. But you know, I got this. I'm good. Thank you. And then
and they think that you don't even realize, and you're not reading through it, but you're being the better person, and all your friends that are reading that are seeing that you're being kind, and they move on. You know, kindness always wins, no matter what. So Rebecca says, how can you stay in this if your significant other isn't supportive at all? Well, if you're a woman like me, you say, regard with or without you, I'm gonna be doing this. But Andy, you know, there were so many times I'd be driving to a wrap party 2 hours away. We didn't have the gas money. Andy's calling me. Taylor's crying in the background. You know, like, everybody sees the beautiful side of it. They don't see the struggle side of it. And, you know, you just push. And honestly, as long as you're making income, they will come around. You got to get them involved. You got to get them on a guy's call. You got to get them at an event, or maybe buy him something with wrap cash, or take him out to dinner for a date night. Thank him publicly. Some guys, that's their love language. Thank him. Thank you for unloading the dish. As lame as it is, like, guys have emotion and feeling too, just not all of them show it. And so it's really, really involving them as much as possible, but also letting them know that this is something that I feel deep inside my soul, and I have a passion for it, and I genuinely love it, and I really need you to trust me right now. I mean, there's so many times that in the beginning I would like shake Andy, like, I know we're not making money yet, and I know that this is like, I'm taking a lot of time, and I know that I'm on my phone more than I talk to you, but I promise you, I just feel there's something bigger within this. And then as soon as you do start doing those things, it's like, this is, our business is going great. It's no longer Jen's business, it's our business is awesome. Yeah, you should come check out our business. You should try our products. We did this, you know, so. But I know it's not always perfect. If you guys knew some of the fights, you guys would be like, if you could have been a fly on the wall, you would have thought we were getting divorced. So it's hard at times, but nothing is easy at times. Even regular jobs are hard at times. So it's all how we put it into perspective. And then if your husband's a jerk, hopefully you'll pull together enough, and maybe they're fearful that you're going to do something big and leave. If, you know, it just depends on the situation, as horrible as that is.
True story.
I'm trying to read.
Yeah, you just have to, just like with the people who are skeptics, and just like with the haters, you have to actually start producing to give them that relief or whatever. You have to start actually doing the parties, doing, you know, making the wrap cash, putting it out there. You know, you have to work it. You have to work it, and then be like,
it's not just posting on Facebook and being on Facebook and not talking to your man all night long, making no money. You know, like, that's, I don't agree with that, because that's not fair to them either. That's not running a legit business. That's marketing and advertising for It Works. That's it. It's hard to say out loud to you guys, but it's real.
And I mean, if it's like, if he doesn't want you to leave the house or whatever, then you do the online parties, and you just say, hey, give me 45 minutes. You know, it's longer. You watch TV. I'm going to be in here doing this, and then make it happen.
I always say, pull out the passion card. It could be a hobby. Some women go, you know, guys will go to bowling clubs, or they do volleyball, or whatever it is. Like, we're all allowed to have something, even if you're coming into this, you know, in the beginning, just for that. So you just got to really communicate, I feel.
I like that.
Meredith said, Rebecca, when you persevere, build your business, and start making money, he will come around. That's absolutely true. It's so true. And then Dee had said, that's basically how I responded. I was so hurt, and they went on with all their knowledge on the topic. And honestly, that sucks that they were all like gangbustering you know, and like going off. But it's just, it's never going to be, there's always going to be that person. It's like, I'm so glad that you have time to worry about this. You could be on my team right now with all the time you're putting out there with this right now. But just
don't be
what's up.
Yeah, don't be afraid to say that, you know, message them and be like, hey, you know what? I really appreciate all, you know, that you care. This, you know, means a lot to me. I just want you to know that I don't allow any negativity. And if you'd like to have a conversation behind closed doors, I would love, you know, this is amazing. But I got to tell you, I want this kind of energy on my team. So you keep doing the research and then you come back to me. But I'm just going to delete everything right now because I just, you know, it's not my thing. This was one of my questions to you. What when someone calls it a pyramid scheme? I can't stand this. It's like, and there are people, because Rebecca's younger than us, and so is her boyfriend. So it's like, do we skip the birds and bees talk and just sit right down and say, this is what a pyramid scheme is? Because I really think we should go back to talking about the birds and the bees.
Yeah, and you know, like I think all of us kind of like that we've heard that before, but what is corporate America? It's a pyramid scheme. You know, I hate even saying it's a pyramid scheme. There's a boss, and you're never going to make more than that boss. That's what makes us different. You, Aaron, you, Rebecca, Meredith, can surpass me. It's all up to what we put in, what we do to keep on building, educated on it. But like, there's so many ways that we could talk about pyramid scheme. Everything in life is based on a pyramid, whether it's the principal to the teachers or the superintendent to the principal to the teachers to the student, or it's, you know, the CEO to the big financial reps to the lawyers to the employees to the people that clean the grounds. Every single thing, it's a choice what we're going to put, how much we're going to spend for our education, how much the time we're willing to put in this business. You know, it's everything in life is that way. It does not matter. It's like a food chain. So in this, the way to explain it is it's up to you how much money you're going to make. Every single person that's watching right now could make more than I am. I'm just on top because I've been doing it 7 years and I treat this like a career and I work this probably more hours than most. So it's, but I understand the question. It is valid. I have the question probably at half the parties I do. It's typically by the husbands. And unfortunately, they were probably raised by somebody that isn't as open and, you know, has only heard more of the condescending ways of life and are just used to having a boss and working for the man. This is different. We're in a completely different age, you know, gap and generation, and entrepreneurship is much more put out there. It's just understanding it and having the one person finally tell you, and you as their spouse need to like really put them in their place, because most of us have had that question from our spouse or ourselves. Let's see. You want to add to it, Aaron? But I think it's also being very level-headed when you're explaining it. Like I'm not an asshole, and I try very hard not to be condescending, but in my mind, all I'm thinking is, I'm sorry that you are so close-minded and uneducated. Like that's what I want to say, but I keep my class and, you know, breathe through it. And I just say, well, can you think and like get a brain cell for this with me for 1 second? At your work right now, could you ever make as much as your boss? Just let me know. And typically right then and there, it just kind of gets the wheels spinning. I don't go crazy because there's been times that I just like start going off and get really mad. And then I just kind of slowly, because they just don't know. They genuinely just don't know.
They don't. And a lot of times, very simply put, I will either say that, or I will say, what's your definition of a pyramid scheme?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a great way to go about it too.
And again, they don't know.
Yeah. And typically it's just because most people do quit this type of business. I understand that, but it doesn't mean that it works' fault. It's your fault for not working it. It's a business. If you're to open a gym, you're going to have to be there at 6 a.m. You're going to have to set up the classes. You're going to have to do the marketing. You have to buy all the equipment. You're going to have to do all these things. Same thing with this. It's just a completely different way. You're not going to make any money unless you actually open the door and turn on the sign and pay the electric bill and pay the heat bill and pay for the water and pay for employees. And, you know, most people do not understand business.
Rebecca actually won a Zoom with Chad Kneller.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Like really, I want to be on that one. Share that with all of us.
Right. Yeah. She's sitting on that. I'm totally
that's amazing.
On that one.
Amazing. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So D says pyramid schemes keep people on top, and on top you can pass someone that enrolled you with the business. And you guys, I surpassed my sponsor. She's a double diamond still to this day. I've been ahead of Debbie for years, and it's never been an issue. She doesn't care. She's still just as successful. You know, it's crazy. All right. So Charmaine said, I had a friend tell me they don't believe in the keto coffee because it doesn't work and keto is a crash diet. She did her research. I told her I'd respect her perspective, but ever. Well, one, it's we're not telling you to go on a diet. Don't drink the coffee then. Drink your own coffee. But they're just letting you know that this is something that has been lied to, and I'm a firm believer. I have not bought fat-free, anything light in a long time because I talked to a natural doctor and she told me your body will process whole fats and whole foods better than chemicals. So that's essentially what It Works is doing. They're teaching us that our bodies are made to digest and absorb the enzymes from whole foods, which goes along, but doesn't mean they have to buy that product. It's not, you don't have to do a crash diet. You don't have to go crazy with it. However, I was a little bit worried when they first came out with it because I'm like, oh gosh, everybody's going to think that's what it's about. But if you don't want the coffee, take the system, add the greens to your life. I would love, typically that person is just fearful of a healthy lifestyle. I'm not saying everybody, but when people go off and are instantly on edge about it, they're fearful of what you're asking them to do. They're not ready to make that change or commitment. But it sucks.
Yeah.
Just tell them to do it for the collagen, for the skin, because everybody will buy their hair, skin, and nails before they even buy their greens. So that's what I said to one lady. I was like, well, I'm doing it for the collagen. I just make stuff up as I go.
Perfect. Love it. I want to know how you get parties. We all want to know how we get the parties.
Man, I just ask. I will pull the whole
Am I frozen?
I need a favor. Huh? You're good.
All right.
I do the whole pulling. I need a favor. And if I can't get a party, I do my own party. So I feel very down when I don't have parties. So the past month was probably my lowest amount of parties I've had in my entire business. And I felt very depressed over it because when I leave a party, I am so excited. You could ask Erin, I'm a party queen. I believe in the party before a one-on-one, before anything, because that's where you get mass value. That's where you make rap cash. And it's where you can ultimately get, I've walked out of a party with 6 distributors and built an entire Ruby from that girls thing. So I know parties are key for myself, building my organization strong with genuine relationships and building teams, and then getting long-term loyals. My loyals that stay on the longest are the ones that I got from parties because they were there, they tasted it, touched it, felt it. So just, if you're new, say, hey, I'm not so comfortable, but I would really appreciate, because I know you and I'm comfortable around you, if you'd let me kind of practice party with you. And that's honest and raw. And people, that care about you, love you, they're probably going to help you out. Or would you mind helping me out? I'm just starting my business and I'm not exactly comfortable yet. I would appreciate it if you'd let me rock it with you so that you can tell me how I can do better. Or, if you are a veteran in the business, you just say, or ask people that have done parties for you before. Ask your loyal customers. They're typically people that love the products already, and offer free samples to everyone. I've had VIP parties where I offer everyone free chin and neck wraps because everybody likes free. And I was desperate to get a party at the time. Do a wow party. Don't even talk about the wraps. If the wraps intimidate people, which they can, and they have, and they do, offer other products, offer a shake party, offer a wow party, we overcomplicate the party, and it's a simple asking, a text, because when you I can post all day. Today I did one. I'm looking to do coffee parties. I wanted people to try the products, and it's no one's going to just come to me. Now, whoever liked it, I'm going to go in and I'm going to actually inbox and be like, hey, would you be willing to do this for me? Use your hundreds list. But the best way to go about it is asking through inbox and texting. And if you have to, calling grandma, sister, cousin, neighbor. There's people in my family that have still yet to do a party for me. And now I'm about to call because I have been slower. And it's you can do a party for me. So it's just all in the ask. Getting that 5 seconds of courage.
My childhood best friend just today, after 3.5 years, agreed to do an online party for me.
Mm-hmm. keep on inviting them. You know, if you're not getting parties, you have parties yourself and you just invite them, even if it's 2 people. I tell people there's parties and they'll show up and it's a one-on-one. You know, now I'm changing it to sample session or rapid wine, or, you know, it just depends.
Coffee dates. By the way,
Coffee dates.
Friday is the International like drink coffee day or something. Coffee appreciation day. So
yep, they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I'm excited.
Well, thank you very much.
We all just think everyone sees. Oh, you're welcome. You know I love you.
I love you, boo.
And thank you for teaching me how to do this.
Oh, you know.
I need to get over myself and do them more.
They are fun to do. And once we figure out how to do the Zoom, like side by side with Facebook Live, it's pretty sweet. Yeah. By the way, Dee just did the thing. Oh, am I frozen? Okay, good. Dee just did the, I need a favor. I need to learn the new party pad. So will you have a party for me? And she booked 6 parties for next month.
Yeah. People just love raw and real. No one wants to be sold to. Like, that's why I'm not a script person. Not that I don't think you could use those as a crutch when you don't know what you're doing, because I wish that I had that when I was a younger, you know, person in this. But they just being so honest with people and real and just asking for a favor. Like, you don't have to have a ton of food. You don't have to clean your house like crazy. You know, I'll bring a bottle of wine. Do what you got to do. I will like make stuff up, like if I have to pull stuff out of my pockets, like just to get them to say yes. It's just asking and being very genuine and grateful. And yeah, we overcomplicate this business, I think, too much, unfortunately, but that's just human nature.
Yeah, it's fun and it's easy and you get to meet cool people. So yeah, but thank you for doing this.
You're so welcome. Thank you guys for having me on. I really, really hope that you guys got some answers. I'd be happy to answer more if you guys want to write them in the comments, and we'll do this again and definitely get on the Monday night team call that we do, because the Black Diamonds are going to be joining us, and I'm really, really excited about that call. And just, you know, just know that, remember, we all started with the same exact business builder kit. None of us are any different. We just learned and did things at different paces, but anyone can really do this. And I really, really appreciate you, Erin. I'm proud of your leadership. And you can't go wrong with this girl, because she definitely gets you out of your comfort zone, including myself. So I love you, girl.
Love you. Thank you.
Bye. I'll talk to you later.